What is up everyone, it's TK and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to talk you through what can Supercell do to make Clash of Clans a better game for everyone. So everyone is happy with the balance changes. So without further ado, let's dive into this video and see some of my personal kind of things that I would change in the current game state. But it's not going to be as crazy as you guys think. A lot of you guys are regular average players and above average, below average. We have a lot of players on this channel, so it's a lot of variety of, for example, opinions. So I'm gonna try my best to be kind of in between everything, between a pro and an average player. What can everyone want from Clash of Clans? So let's dive in and see this video. First thing first, let's talk about the balance of the game in general. Is the game hard? Is the game easy? Or it's somewhere in between? I think, in my opinion, the game is around that, somewhere in between. As in, if you see the majority, yeah, people still fail. There's a lot of fails in CWOs. There's a lot of fails in wars, because one of my accounts is actually on my older clan, and there's a lot of average players there, or regular players that they just come to war, no pushing crazy in Legends League. They're just around 5,100, 200 trophies. They're here for doing war, CWL, donations, clan games, clan capital, all this kind of stuff, and they are failing quite a lot in their war attacks. So even though they're still using those high, kind of level equipments, some people still failing, and they haven't been kind of adapting to Town Hall 17 meta just yet. That means Town Hall 17, there's a lot of people who have actually not even maxed it fully, and there's a lot of fails going around. So you can't really kind of talk through about the high legends. Like, the good thing is, in Legends League right now, is that you can see the difference between the players. The players who are above 5,800 trophies right now, as I'm recording this video, they don't get too many defenses. Even a bit lower than that, they still don't get defenses, and their attacks are around 320 and 300 daily. If you fail two attacks, then you might come around 290, but that's still decent for that kind of trophy range. But going to defenses on the lower, on around 5,500 and 600, that is a lot better than it used to be in Town Hall 16, because there's just a lot of hardcore bases. The bases have been built a lot better. I would say the troops that are people using is more variety. Like, there's a lot of versions of different strategies, meaning there's gonna be less adaptation. If you have one strategy that everyone uses, there's gonna be guides all over YouTube for it. There's gonna be people using it, so you can watch replays from wars, CWOs on your bases, attacks that are coming from Legends League. You will learn that strategy quicker, and you will be able to master it a lot quicker. But if there is certain strategies that are being variety through the entire Legends League, that's when you're getting more fails, and that is coming from lower trophies in Legends League. But is Legends League itself fully balanced and fully done with? Can we look somewhere else? And that is a no. From the opinion of a pro player myself, that I'm pushing every season to go to the high rankings, and I've done actually two back-to-back rank 2 digits on the last few seasons, I would say it's a lot harder, and there's a lot of luck involved. That means if you're a very dedicated base builder and pusher in Legends League, you will give like yourself a higher chance to go and hit a rank. But then there is certain things, like someone maybe 100 trophies less than you, he can easily get crazier defenses than you and then go higher in 1 or 2 days, just being a bit lucky and not receiving that last defenses, for example, which probably happened to a lot of you if you're pushing and you were so happy for it. You're like, oh my god, I didn't get a defense, I'm in top 100 right now. And then the next days, what happens is that you get 320 on defense, you will do 1 or 2 fails, and you will drop low. So the Legends League system is a bit weird right now, I would say, in that regard. Same as the way that there's a lot of win tradings, but it's actually a lot less in the Town Hall 17 meta. You don't see that like 2 digit defenses on the high rankings, and that is a good thing, I think, in my opinion. Like, Supercell didn't do anything about it, but it just went away, and it went a bit more, I would say, less right now, but it's still there. There are certain things that needs to be done, so you cannot come back in future once everyone is max Town Hall 17, just like it was on the last 2 seasons of Town Hall 16 and a bit more before that. But still, win trading is something that can be changed in the upcoming updates maybe, and some certain ideas I have, but I don't really want to mention it in case like some people are just not worry too much about it. But I would say there is things that can be done to Legends League to make it better, as in something like hard mode. Hard mode coming to Legends League will make it a lot easier for those pushers to stay more consistent on defense. Now, you don't just don't judge too early, okay? I'm not saying hard mode should be in Legends League from 5,000 trophies. No. In my opinion, hard mode should come around the trophy that I would say is 5,700 is the marker where some people don't go looting that often anymore. They don't go wall upgrading in 5,700. You are there to be competitive. If you're in 5,700 trophies right now, it means you are daily logging into the game and doing 8 attacks. That is automatically you are a competitive player. You want to be better. You want to learn a few things. You want to go in a higher ranks. You want to get defenses. Get your name next to those high players. Go to those clans that are doing push deals and stay deals. You want that. That means you need to go through hard mode. So if you're in that trophy, in my opinion, there needs to be a hard mode for it. And that means the troops will be a bit weaker. The defenses will be a lot harder hitting. The equipments will be lowered level, just like it is in tournaments, which we'll get very soon, because tournaments right now is amazing. I think the balance in the tournaments and the esports scene is never been better than this back when Town Hall 15 was here. So right now there's teams like the old Clash Champs team that are, I think, Electros or something, or Elevate, Team Elevate, I believe it's the name. They're doing 12-star wars. They're literally doing 12-star wars. That's 3 fails, and that means it's balanced. If you build a good base, if you have a good clan castle and you're dedicated to get a defense, you will get a defense. It's still a bit, unbalanced with the troops people are using, because there's like only 3 or 2 major armies. Back in Town Hall 15, you had 5 armies in one team. Everyone was using different. So that's what will come up very shortly. So don't worry about it. Now, the next one I would believe is how can they balance the equipment? This is a huge question, because equipment itself is a huge deal to Clash of Clans. The way it changed the game and the way it's going to keep changing the game whenever we have a new epic equipment, to common equipments for new heroes, and then more epic and epic and epic, and more heroes, new heroes, and then more equipments. We are just going to keep on getting equipments. So what is the best way to balance this and not have it completely blown away and literally dust to the ground so that no one can use, or not having it really overpowered and everyone is using that only in War, CWO, Legends League, everywhere, which is in this case the Electro Boots. So I would suggest to have the equipments on the exact same level, not as in the level itself like level 27 and 18. No, I'm saying the level of usage. So the Electro Boots, it's a lot better than the Royal Gem. So what is the point of having the Royal Gem in the game when the Electro Boots and another random ability combination, we can never get better of it, right? There's nothing better. Why would you run something else? So depending on your strategy, even people like that is still not gonna use the Royal Gem. The Royal Gem needs a huge buff. So that means it may even need a rework, complete rework. So make it something that someone is like, hold on, that may actually work better in my case of strategy. So something like the Electro Boots is fully going to completely remove all the RC weaknesses. It heals her up. It literally kills the Skelly. The only thing that could stop an RC in that game, the Clash of Clans, was skeleton traps, Tesla farms, and a ricochet cannon. But right now, you can literally just dive through it without any problem, without having to upgrade any other equipment, and only having a level 10 of this epic equipment. This just shouts broken. So there's things that needs to be done that equipments don't become that, and then Supercell doesn't have to nerf it. You know what I'm saying? So they need to test this stuff a lot more. They need to balance it and not have it harder core equipments coming to the game, because then the older equipments that we used to put so much ores in, I mean, you guys, because obviously me, I max every equipment that come. It doesn't matter if it's a lava loon puppet or if it's a crazy broken equipment. I max everything, but I'm saying for you guys, because getting a lot of starry ore, it's hard. It's really hard to get that much and put it into an epic equipment thinking you're gonna get there at level 27, you're gonna use it like crazy, and by the time you get there, it's gonna be 2-3 months, and that's when the equipments will get nerfed. And sometimes it's nerfed to the ground, just like we saw with some of the equipments, obviously depending on the strategy, like the frozen arrow, or I would say the gauntlet. But the gauntlet, that's the thing, like with the gauntlet, is that you have better equipment. If you get your king to the core, he's done. Like the core is done, the base is done. So what is the point of a gauntlet? Like there is no one else gonna use the giant gauntlet that often. I mean the variety, like maybe 80% of all the player base in Legends League are using the Earthquake Boots and the Spiky Ball. That has to tell you something, that your other equipments are going to go down. No one is going to look at them anymore. And if that is a path Supercell wants to take, as in they want to have every new equipment being used and just that equipment, meaning the older equipments will keep on being in the past and we won't go back for it, even though the strategies and the town halls are changing. That means it's just something Supercell wants. You cannot change it. We cannot do anything. We can't give them reasons because that is a business perspective from them. They want everyone to have the new equipment and invest ores in the new equipment, and hopefully they won't have it too broken so people not gonna invest literally money and everything into those equipments and time and then have it nerfed. That is not the way. But if they want to have the older equipments completely behind us, that is fine. So at least have the new equipments balanced to each other. So having the RC equipment coming out, and then, for example, having another equipment that is, for example, on another hero, like Queen or King or Warden, having that equipment coming as an epic, which is literally nowhere near the broken as RC equipment was, that means that equipment for that own hero is gonna go to trash. So it's still not gonna be used. It's not gonna have any ores going into it, and then people are going to keep on investing ores on the broken stuff, and then it will get nerfed again. So you can see how already I'm going around with this. The system of these equipments needs to be balanced in every strategy. It doesn't have to be balanced in a way that people use one equipment on King for literally 10 strategies. That is not the way equipments was used to just work. People used to use the Vamp stash with the dragons. People use the gauntlet for Sui attacks, and then the earthquake boots, it wasn't just being used until the spiky ball came. Even then the earthquake boots wasn't being used, but then the spiky ball and the earthquake boots, because the earthquake boots got a huge buff, it became the main equipment of the entire king hero. So you can see how already what I mean by balancing and bringing a balanced equipment, not having to force a broken equipment into the game that is really broken than any other hero even. So that is for that topic. Now moving on, we do have troops that are like root riders, kind of like healers, or I would even go and say dragons. And yeah, dragons, man, they're just too, I would say, lower in housing space. You have 16 dragons in one army, which it obviously there's not many traps that can defend it, right? Like I'm using the 16 dragon strategy as you saw from like the clips that I'm showing in the background. And obviously like there's things like zaps, like earthquake boots, fireball. There's so many starting equipments or starting kind of like a blimp or spells that is going to give you that huge value of the base, and then the rest of the base is just easy done with the dragons or root riders or any other army you want to use. But at least if they're gonna have that type of equipment that is game changing, they need to have the troops a bit higher as troop capacity. This automatically will bring a lot of balance, guys, because you're gonna take less troops, thinking because you got half of the base with your heroes, the other half is gonna go away with those air or ground troops, which in those cases it won't. That's the beauty of having a balanced housing space. Something like a root rider, it just goes through the base. Some people drop 4 and there's still 4 at the end. What happened? Where is the damage of my base, right? How are these root riders not dying, even though they're, getting nerfed 3 times? That's the thing with those, kind of housing space. If they make it higher, that means you are gonna have to invest more on the root riders and less on those barbarians, healers, all those cleanup troops. You may time fill because, guys, if you forgot, root riders back in the day used to give a lot of time fills when they come with other strategies. Not the root rider spam, but other strategies because they're just too slow. But here is something like they're too quick because you can literally funnel right and left, funnel the beginning, funnel the back end, clean up. It's a lot of things you have when having 4 root riders, and 4 is enough to get your king to the core, a queen to the core, or RC somewhere, and then it's done. So the troop should not be that strong that kind of dominates that entire base by itself. Same as the heroes. But if Supercell, again, this is something that I would say, if Supercell again has that idea of wanting the heroes to be the main thing in Clash of Clans, then you can't do anything about it. They want us to get half the base with heroes. They want the heroes to be stronger. Back in Town Hall 15, heroes, if you drop 3 of them together, they wouldn't get 30%. But now, Royal Champion gets 45%, guys. This is a huge change. I don't know if you guys understand it, but it's huge. Back then, you used to get that many percent with a queen charge attack with completely strategic approach. Wall breakers, rage spells, colloons, freeze, invisibility, poison spells. Kind of strategic way to dive into the base. Now, what is happening? I literally can drop on my RC on any side of the base. She will reach the core, and there is nothing that can stop her. Bro, what is going on? Give us 2 tornado traps or something, like 2 more. I want the tornado to keep the RC, so at least someone can spells, like drop 2 spells just on 1 tornado, so the RC cannot move forward. Like, there's certain things that can be done, but I don't know why they are not being done. Something that is telling me is that Supercell have plans on taking down the base with heroes like that. Like, it's genuinely their plan to have the heroes the main thing in Clash of Clans, and then the troops just a side thing. Back then, the troops was the main thing. You would get a new troop, you would be so excited about it. There is going to be a new super troop that is going to dominate the game. But now, these are the equipments that are dominating the game. You have Fireball completely demolishing a core, and any strategy can literally clear the entire side of that core. And then you have the RC. If she goes to the left and clear the side, you have the troops going to the core. If she goes to the core, you have the troops going to the side. The strategies are all the same. So that's what I mean by balancing it. That's what I mean by having these equipments a bit at the same level and at the same level as troops. So you don't have one hero taking down 45% of the base with absolutely no strategic approach and no crazy spell placement and control. Literally, it should not be that easy. And I know some of you will say it's not that easy, TK. It's not that simple. Sometimes my RC goes out of my invisibility. Well, I'm here to tell you, you just don't have enough practice. If you have 3 or 4 accounts and you're doing 8 attacks Legends League and you're doing 2 war attacks and 5 tournament attacks per day, you will know how to drop those spells. You will see how crazy your whole strategy will become, how many more triples you're going to be putting in. But unfortunately, you don't have that much time, maybe, and that's completely fine. But don't think the equipment is not broken or a hero is not broken. RC just doesn't die, guys. She can go ahead half the base, she can get recalled, she can go back and then get revived even if she dies with the Phoenix, and then get revived back with the revive spell. Guys, what is going on? Someone please comment down below what is going on in Clash of Clans. I mean, obviously, I'm not hating. I just use whatever Supercell give us to use. I bring whatever content I possibly can. And the thing with content is that if we don't have new stuff, if we don't have broken stuff like this, I cannot bring you videos. It's just simply not going to work because there is nothing in the game. But that's the good thing about the creators and the content creation when there is certain things like that. So at least we can talk about it. And guys, if this video gets a lot of views, Supercell usually checks this and checks the comments. You may get your comments seen by Supercell members. So try your best to leave down and respectfully leave down your reasonings about why some things needs to change, just like the way I explained. And hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Obviously, I don't want it to go too long. It's around 20 minutes right now that I'm recording, but usually I don't record this much about like talking about the balances of the game. But I was like, you know what, I want to give my reasoning. I want to give them and show them that I care and what can be changed and how it can be changed and why it needs to be changed. So hopefully you guys understood the things I mentioned, and obviously there's certain things that not everyone's gonna agree, and that's completely fine. And yeah, obviously the game is in a good direction in my opinion with this Town Hall 17 meta, the way Town Hall changed, the way we got new defenses, and obviously I was gonna say something about the Town Hall weapon itself. It's a bit weak. Let's say it like that. And you guys know it, man. It's a bit weak. And the thing about being weak is that once you upgrade something, it needs to be stronger. Something that is getting upgraded, it needs to be better. It cannot be worse. It cannot go weaker in damage or in any other part of, for example, the Giga Bomb and the Poison. If sometimes you may have a Town Hall 16 like design base, and just not the base itself, like Town Hall 16 building, that's what I mean. Instead of your level 5 Town Hall 17, you would automatically get a lot of defenses. You know what I'm saying? And that's the crazy thing. Why is that? How can we have an upgraded Town Hall and the 5 levels after that to just have it weaker than the original Town Hall 16? So there is always certain conversation about that, and I wanted to mention that. Obviously I made a tweet about it, and there's a lot of likes going on that tweet, so thank you very much if you're one of them. And Supercell is hopefully and surely going to see your comments and those, you know, kind of tweets as well. And I mean, we just have to wait and see. We have to wait and see what are their priorities for 2025. Are they prioritizing the builder base? Maybe they're prioritizing the clan capital. They want to bring the few updates for them. They don't care about the balance in High Legends League, for example. We may get a new system in Legends League in 2 years. Who knows? But it's about priorities. Can they prioritize the way we explain our feelings about this type of equipment and this type of balance changes to the troops and the meta? Let's see what happens in the future, and hopefully you guys will stay tuned when the updates are dropping. I think we have some confirmation about the update in February. I have no info about it, but I've heard the question and answers from obviously those dev builds, and I would say Stuart mentioned something if I'm not mistaken. But there's going to be an update very soon, so stay tuned because I'm going to bring you all the sneak peeks. If we have new equipment, I'm going to be maxing it out and show you the way it works, because obviously there is certain things that are not in the game that are quality of life changes. Something like having to test and max the equipment before you actually max it, so you can see if it's worth it, you like it or not. Maybe you don't even like the, you know, equipments like on the max level. Maybe it's going to be too strong and you love it, so you put your ores in it. But if you have literally no clue how it works, how are you supposed to invest so much ores in it? And a lot of people invest money into the ores. So you can see how already those things work out. That's why I personally max those equipments, and all like the reasoning is just the tournaments and you guys. There's nothing else really, to be honest. So I put money, max it out so you can see how it works, and I can use it at the highest level in those tournaments, even though it goes down to level 21. So I don't need to necessarily get it to level 27. But I do it, as I said, for you guys so you can see if it's worth upgrading or not. But hopefully you guys stay tuned for those videos, and hopefully I'll see you soon tomorrow. Take care and peace.